Morning. We have 1 minute before noon. So while we wait for people to gather together, for those who are from Pittsburgh or near the Pittsburgh area, you can see this looks like a typical fall day, gloomy. Football weather. Football weather. Hello, this is the Sacred Journey of Life, Spiritual Center and Healing Order. My name is Michelle Sailing. I'm a teacher. I'm a writer. I'm the spiritual director for this center. I'm a channeling medium. And my commitment, my mission, my word to you is that I'm committed you have amazing lives. Powerful lives. In touch with who you are as a divine being, manifesting in this incarnation all those things that will make you a great person, a great human being, and fulfill you on that sacred promise you made when you incarnated. That's the goal. And Sacred Journey of Life is committed to providing you with resources and tools to meet that goal. What we want to do first before we begin the lesson is, I know that many of you do have to use your cell phone as we watch this, but if you'd mute it so there's no background noise, and if you would begin to center yourself with taking some deep breaths. What we want to do is, breath is life, breath is centering. And for us now, if you're comfortable, I hope, if you take 3 deep breaths in, bringing in the golden light, the sparkling light of the divine through your crown chakra, all the way through your fourth center, through your torso, through your limbs, to the floor, Mother Earth grounding you, and then bring back that breath, exhaling shadows, sadness, just gray, just the gray of the day. So first breath, take it in and exhale. Second breath, all the way down, all that gold light, and exhale. And one more time. Bright golden light through our bodies, energizing us, grounding us all the way down, and exhaling. Grayness and shadow. Let's center our minds. Give them a seat over here to the left. Opening prayer. I open my heart to understanding the lesson that my song of my soul longs for me to learn. I have all the strength and resources I need to move my life forward in a blissful and purposeful way. The intention of today's message. Today's message is to declare our divine authority by calling ourselves, capital S, out. Calling us out, outside our mindset, belief systems, outside our emotional body and feelings, outside our physical limitations, to manifest what is truly ours. And what Saint Germain is saying today is truly ours is the mighty energy. So I'm going to be reading you from the text. This is Discourse. It's called Discourse I, from his book that was channeled in 1932, although I think some of those in this I Am Discourse book were channeled all the way through 1935. This one in particular was channeled October 3rd, 1932. The spiritual hierarchy drew me to this book, which was actually at the bottom of a lot of books. And Saint Germain and the teachers assert today the proposition that we humans deny our power, align with standards outside of ourselves, and construct lives far from the hopes and dreams we had when they first occurred to us. We have forgotten to remember who we are. In this discourse Discourse I of the I Am, channeled from Saint Germain, he speaks to this concern. Greetings. I bring you greetings from the perfected ones who are watching closely over and ministering to us all. Life in all of its activities everywhere manifest is God in action. And it is only through lack of the understanding of applied thought and feeling that mankind is constantly interrupting the pure flow of that perfect essence of life, which would, without interference, naturally express its perfection everywhere. The natural tendency of life is love, peace, beauty, harmony, and opulence. For life cares not who uses it, but is constantly surging to pour more of its perfection into manifestation, always with that lifting process, which is ever inherent within itself. I am. I am is the activity of that life. How strange it is that students with sincere interest do not seem to get the true meaning of those two words, I am. When you say and feel, I am, you release the spring of eternal everlasting life to flow on its way unmolested. In other words, you open wide the door to its natural flow. When you say, I am not, you shut the door in the face of this mighty energy. I am is the full activity of God. Having placed before you so often the truth of God in action, I wish you to understand its first expression in individualization. The first expression of every individual, everywhere in the universe, either in spoken word, silent thought, or feeling, is I am, recognizing its own conquering divinity. The student endeavoring to understand and apply these mighty yet simple laws must stand guard more strictly over his thought and expression, in word or otherwise. For every time you say, I am not, I cannot, I have not, you are, whether knowingly or unknowingly, throttling that great presence within you. This is just as tangible as if you placed your hands about the throat of an outer form. Only with the outer form, your thought governing the hand, you can release it at any time. But when you make a declaration using the words, I am not, you set in motion mighty, limitless energy that continues to act, unless it is recalled and the imperfection consumed and transmuted. This shows you the enormous power you have to qualify this mighty energy of God. And I tell you, beloved students, dynamite is less dangerous, for that would but liberate you from the body. While these thoughts, sent forth ignorantly and ungoverned, bind you upon the wheel of re-embodiment indefinitely. That you can see how important it is for you to know what you are doing when you thoughtlessly use wrong expressions. This is what we need you to know, because you are using the most divine principle of activity in the universe. I am. Do not misunderstand me. This is no idle, foreign, or oriental expression, but the highest principle of life used and expressed throughout every civilization that has ever existed. For the first expression every self-conscious form of life gives is, I am. It is only afterwards, in its contact with outer, wrongly qualified activity, that it begins to accept anything less than I am. Now, dear students, do not see that when you say, I am sick, you are just reversing the principle of life, which is naturally all perfection, thus requalifying it by your willful ignorance with something which is never naturally possessed. Through long centuries of willful misunderstanding, humanity has charged the very atmosphere about them with falsehood and unreality. For I need not say to you that when you say, I am sick, It is an abject falsehood in respect to your divinity, which cannot be sick. Does this sound harsh to you? Then I say, think it over, and you will see what a blessing and release it can be to you. I say to you, dear students, in the name of God, stop using these wrong expressions of your Godhead, of your divinity, for it is impossible for you to have freedom as long as you continue to do it. I cannot speak of this to you too often, that when you really recognize and accept the mighty presence of God in you, there are positively no adverse conditions. Stop, I say to you. Stop giving power to the outer conditions, persons, places, or things. And in the name of God, every time you find yourself starting to say, I am sick, I am broke, I am not feeling well, instantly reverse this fatal condition in your progress and declare silently, with all the intensity of your being, I am, I am, which is all health, opulence, perfection, happiness, peace, and the power to recognize perfection in yourself and everywhere else. When you think of the expression I am, it means that you know you have God in action expressing in your life. Do not let these false expressions continue to govern and limit you. Continually remind yourself, I live, move, and have my being and all outer expression in the full opulence of God, made manifest every moment. And thus reminding yourself of this invincible, unconquerable presence, you keep the door open for its pure, invincible essence and intelligence to weave into your outer expression that wondrous perfection. I plead with you, dear ones everywhere, do not continue to use these wrong expressions, thinking that in some hocus pocus way you may slide past reaping the result. It simply cannot be done. Many of you know that they use the branding iron on the western frontier as a recognition of ownership by the ranchmen. So great is my desire to have you recognize and hold fast to the active presence of God in you that I almost long for a branding iron to brand those words, I am, into your consciousness for constant use, that you could not be drawn off the recognition, acceptance, and use of that mighty, glorious presence of God, which you are. I trust that all who may hear or read these words will feel the power and the mighty conviction of this truth that goes with them, leaping into action wherever expressed. If at any time anything less than perfection attempts to make an appearance in your experience, declare vehemently that it is not true, and that you accept only God, which is perfection in your life, everywhere manifest. As long as you give way to accepting false appearances, you will have them expressed in your life and experience. It is not, dear student, a matter of belief on your part whether you accept these truths or not. They are the law, proven through long centuries of experience, and are placed before you for your freedom. Awaken to the fact that your thought and feeling in the past have built, created, the inharmony of your world today. Arise, I say, arise, and walk with the Father, the I am, that you may be free from these limitations. There is only one thing in this universe that can surround you with limitation, and that is accepting the outer appearance instead of the mighty, active presence of God in you. The Western world likes to fool itself with the idea that it refuses to accept the ancient and Eastern idea of sorcery, in other words, the misuse of the spiritual powers. The worst kind of sorcery is being used in the political fields today that has ever been known in the history of mankind through the use of mental power wrongly qualified. If this same tremendous mental force were used in just the reverse way, to know that there is only God in action in every individual filling official places, the sender of that quality or truth would not only be free himself, but the political world would be filled with freedom and justice. Then we would experience a natural world, a world of God in action, everywhere present. It is today as it was at one time in Egypt. Those who misuse the mental power are binding themselves to the rack of inharmony, embodiment after embodiment. Take the stand. I do not take on conditions from anybody or anything about me, around me, near me, but that of God. God's good. And I am always God commanded. You need to acquire the habit of stilling yourself. Sit down 3 or 4 times a day and simply still the outer self. This will let the energy be supplied. Learn to command and control the energy in your body. If you want the energy still, be still. If you want the energy active, be active. You must stand up, face a thing, and rise above it. There is no other way. The student should watch in every way for habits and break them up. He should not have to be told, but must look within himself and uproot whatever is not perfect. This brings a freedom not possible in any other way. The holding on of old habits is just like wearing old, worn-out garments. The student must not wait for someone else to think these things out for him. He must do it himself. It is not possible for anyone to do it but himself. In this work and under this radiation, everything that is latent in the individual is being brought forth to be consumed. Watch that the attention does not become fixed on the thing you do not want. It is perfectly ridiculous to keep recalling things which have not worked out. If you have built your limitations for centuries and can, by this attention and self-effort, free yourself in a few years, isn't it worth it? Is it not marvelous? A humorous sense of getting away from a thing is sometimes the quickest and most powerful way of doing it, for a buoyant, joyous feeling releases the energy that many times enables a very wonderful manifestation to take place. If one will buckle down to brass tacks and call on the law of forgiveness, he can then consume all past creations in the consuming flame and be free. You must be conscious that the flame is the active presence of God doing the consuming. The freedom of God is here in action. When you have a feeling to do a certain constructive thing, go ahead. Stick to it and do it. If the heavens fall, whether the manifestation comes in now or not should not enter into your consciousness at all. Even when students only know a thing intellectually, they should not allow the mind to keep recalling wrong conditions when they know what this activity does to their success. It is unbelievable that people will not conquer this enemy in their consciousness. No student can ever gain the victory until he stops turning back to the old negative conditions he is trying to get rid of. The whole work of a teacher is to get some means and explanation over to the student of the activity of acceptance. What the mind accepts is that which the individual agrees with through his attention. by letting the two become one. When the mind accepts and agrees with a thing or condition, the individual decrees it into his world. Whatever you let the intention rest upon, you are agreeing with and accepting, because through the attention you have let the mind become one with it. If an individual were to see a rattlesnake coiled, would he walk right up to be struck? Certainly not. Yet this is what students are doing when they let their attention turn back to their troubles. Such habits are only past momentum giving a specific quality. There are only two activities in life, and if you will not let the inner govern according to its plan of perfection, then the outer must. When a constructive picture is flashed to your mind, it is a reality. When you recall it as a mental picture and hold it again, it calls forth that reality. One can become so aware of his own God presence that at any time he can see and feel its radiance pouring out to him. For things it does not want, the outer has all the confidence in the world. It is up to the student to compel it to have the same confidence for the perfection of God that it has for the imperfection of the senses. The student must always rely on himself. He must always think, what can I do to intensify this activity from the hints given from the God of perfection. Closing, we give praise and thanks that we have the full strength to accept only the mighty active presence at all times, and to refuse acceptance to anything unlike thee, God. The words of Saint Germain. There is a bigger picture here than what we come into, because we come into life we've been building our adult life through our mind. So our mind has created the context, and then it's compartmentalized everything else inside of it. What Saint Germain is saying here is step back, step way back, because we are the environment. You are the environment. We are above all these pieces we've named. We are above all of these associations we've created. We're above and beyond the things we have or see. We go beyond our feelings and thoughts. This is not us. Our interpretation of what this is not us. This is a playing piece, one of many we've had through many incarnations. And what's happened and occurred, and it especially occurs if there's no stillness, if there's no attention to the higher self, it tries to reach in, it tries to provoke other thoughts, other actions. Is this focus gets so strong and sharp that there is no possibility, there's no other possibility allowed in of the magnificent, because mind does not think magnificent. Mind thinks only from the past, this immediate past. It can only bring forth and repeat the immediate past, good or bad, but there's no future there. We are beyond this. We're an environment. We're a world. We're a world. We're the context. You are the context for your life. Your life inside this context is created by you, by me, moment to moment. You are a journey. You are the sacred journey of life. You are his journey of life. You are her journey of life. You are my journey of life. We are one. As you go, I go. As they go, we go. So, friends, affirm moment by moment, day by day, I am. I am. Never I am not. in front of the bathroom mirror, and you move into the car in front of the car rearview mirror, in the restroom mirror as you pass by, in the reflection of the water in the puddle you tramp through, and especially in the eyes of your beloved ones. I am. I am. I am beautiful. I am powerful. I am the one. I am yours. I am strong. I am abundant. I am whole, complete. I am divine. I am loved. It's really important in this day, in this time, with still the political enmity, the epidemic that's costing people lives, income, lifestyles. It's hard to imagine getting above that, being above that. But it's possible. It's possible. We have help. We have the help of Saint Germain and the violet light that can consume the sadness, consume the inadequacy, consume the failures, consume the self-doubt. The violet flame is available at your beck and call. At your beck and call. The teachers are there. And it's imperative now. It's imperative now that each of us take our time to be with our divine self and meet up with our guides and teachers and guardian angels and allow in and accept an experience of greatness when that doesn't seem to relate or align with what we feel or see or think. To go beyond that little mini self, return to that higher self that declared that journey before you were born. Request intercession, request intervention, request transmutation of the experiences and feelings that keep you out of action, not doing what there is next to do. Yes, friends, we can make life great. All we have to do is say so. And it may take a step at a time, and it may be only a small action. But as we approach the holiday of Thanksgiving, let's celebrate it in a whole new way of expressing gratitude and appreciation. Not coming together necessarily over a dining room table, although that's always fun and joyful. I'm a great cook and I love Thanksgiving, and that's my favorite holiday. And it's not going to occur this year the way it's occurred in the past. But I am looking, and I really am looking as a creative process, a creative endeavor to what would be safely an expression of gratitude and appreciation that would lift others up. And I don't have it yet, but I'm looking. I'm praying on it. I'm praying on it. So let's enjoy the opportunity to make a difference. Let's enjoy that, in fact, there is always an opportunity to make a difference. And let's look for the white. Let's look for the light at the end of the tunnel. And as I've seen and posted in one of my Facebook memes, If I don't see it, I'm going to light that fucker up myself. Find or create the light at the end of the tunnel. Be the light. We have a song from Ronnie that we're going to play now. I want to remind people that we request subscriptions to our YouTube channel, The Sacred Journey of Life. We request donations to support our outreach to Sacred Journey of Life 2020 at gmail.com. So please, much appreciated.
About You. It's a gospel tune. Anita Wilson does a wonderful job with it. Take a listen if you have a chance on YouTube. I see the sunrise over the horizon, and I'm grateful for another day. Because of your love, I can face any challenge that comes my way. Only in you I live, I move, and I have my being. I surrender my will to yours. Make me who I am in you. In Christ I can do all things. It really doesn't matter if the enemy tries to harm me, 'cause no weapon formed will be able to prosper. I will let my light so shine, so everyone can see not me, but he who started a good work in me, he shall complete it. I will pursue what pleases you. I will follow through, 'cause I realize it's all about you. You. I will pursue what pleases you. Do what you tell me to, 'cause I realize it's all about you. You. Oh, I tried to find my own way through this maze. Thought I could make it to my place of destiny. But then I thought as you stood naked in humility. Now I clearly see, without you there's no me. Christ can do all things. It really doesn't matter if the enemy tries to harm me, 'cause no weapon formed will be able to prosper. I will let my light so shine, so everyone can see not me, but he who started a good work in me, he shall complete it. I will pursue what pleases you. I will follow through, 'cause I realize it's all about you. You. I will pursue what pleases you. Do what you tell me to, 'cause I realize it's all about you. You. I will pursue what pleases you. I will follow through, 'cause I realize all about you. You. I will pursue what pleases you. Do what you tell me to, 'cause I realize it's all about you. All about you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Closing. The week to send us forward. The prayer to send us forward into our week. The week to be created by. what we were told today. Richard Bach, Illusions. You are led through your lifetime by the inner learning creature, the playful spiritual being that is your real self. Don't turn away from possible futures before you're certain you don't have anything to learn from them. You're always free to change your mind and choose a different future or a different past. Amen. So thank you for your listening today. Have a great day. Have a great week. There's a great game from the Steelers coming on, so here we go. Here we go, Steelers. I love you. Namaste.